Hey guys, welcome back to Zac and Chuck's Untitled podcast, episode 13, season 6. Joining me in the studio tonight, my co-host Chuck. Chuck, how's your week been?
My week has been fabulous. Actually, by weeks. It has been 2 weeks since we recorded.
Sorry about the unscheduled break last week, guys. A bunch of conflicts, and we just couldn't get a recording date locked down, but we're back. Got Thanksgiving on the horizon, so we definitely wanted to make sure to get in the studio and get an episode out to you guys before the break.
Food coma hits.
And we're got a lot to talk about tonight. Not joining us in the studio, Marcus. He is also on break, so that means he's on break from the podcast as well. So he's going to be taking some time off.
He's jamming right now. He's playing some guitar.
Hopefully just a couple episodes, and we'll have him back. We're also taking auditions for some potential co-host spots. So if you're interested in potentially coming on the show, let us know, and might be getting in touch. Chuck.
Now, there are some people that want to come on the show that I do not want to come on the show. And now every one of them is going to hear this and think that it's them, and it might not be, and it could be you. You know who you are, or maybe you don't. I'm not going to tell you.
There's a somewhat of a screening process. You email us, Chuck and I approve it or don't approve it.
Yeah.
If we don't approve it, usually that just means Chuck doesn't reply to your email. Chuck, why are you not replying to our email?
Just me. I don't even know how to check the new email.
I don't think anyone's using the new email, so if you want to email us, zacandchuck@gmail.com.
Or, what is the new email? Just for those that might be listening. Host at zacandchuck.com? Okay, host at zacandchuck.com. Zacandchuck.com spelled ZACAND, COM is for the com part, if you don't get that far. We love all emails. We definitely appreciate them. And I know, yes, there are a few that we've been saying we'll do a review for, that we keep meaning to do a review for, but we just never get around to it. We will eventually get around to it. Probably, we are starting the next season in January, right?
Yeah, we are.
By then, we will definitely have viewed and reviewed your film.
Chuck, we could tack it on to the end of this episode or do a separate thing for it tonight.
Okay, we'll think about it.
We should try to tackle that project at some point.
It will be tackled.
It will be. Jumping into tonight's list, I thought we'd just kick things off with the top story of the week. And this is where Chuck gets nervous, and I jump around the list and scare him with where I go.
I like closing with the top story. He loves opening with the top story.
I like keeping you on your toes, Chuck, and just picking out random things from the list.
Is the top story what I think it is?
The top story is what you think it is. Chuck, congratulations. Your prediction of Sean being in the next Tokyo Drift.
How is that the top story?
It is.
Yeah, I did predict that Sean would be the taking over as the lead, and it's not confirmed yet, but he is signed on for Fast and Furious 8, 9, and 10, so he could be. And with Paul Walker's death, he's obviously not signed on. His brothers are, but I think maybe they're going to kind of bring him in. He's going to be Paul Walker's long-lost little brother, and it's going to be a thing, and that's why Dom went to see him. I think they're going to tie everything together, and then you're going to have Paul Walker's actual brothers as more brothers, and it's going to be a family thing or something. Who knows? They could do whatever they want.
Do you feel good about being right, though?
I do feel good. When am I not right, though, Zach? I predict everything.
A lot of the time.
I've been wrong before, but I'm about 70% of the time I'm right. I did call the entirety of Captain America 3.
That is true.
Everything.
Which was scary. But yeah.
It's like I had seen it and I hadn't seen it.
I'm excited. Sean was one of my favorite characters. Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift's my favorite Fast and Furious film.
Probably my second favorite Fast and Furious film.
I like the new ones.
But thought we'd jump off, just get that kind of out there.
We got a ton of movie news this week, guys, so we apologize if you're sick of the movie news. There was a lot this week.
Thought we'd start, Chuck, by doing not a segment, but something I'm going to call trailer rundown. Got a lot of new trailers this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of new trailers.
We'll just kind of hit some of those, and then we'll get in.
It is the lead up to Thanksgiving. That's when the trailers hit.
It is true.
This week, and then Thanksgiving will be like the trailer day.
A trailer you put on the list, and we just watched together. It's an upcoming film going to be released in January, and it's kind of a found footage project. It's called Project Almanac. I'll let Chuck kind of explain what we saw in the trailer and what it's about.
It's about a group of kids who find a device that is unfinished, and it's a device for temporal displacement or time travel. And these kids, they take advantage of this. They build it, and they go back in time, and they make themselves popular in school. The one guy gets the girl that he likes. They win the lottery. I mean, they do all the stuff that a teenager would do with time travel powers.
Right, exactly.
And they buy cars. I mean, they do whatever they want. But what quickly happens is things go south. It basically becomes the butterfly effect. The ripple effect of everything they've changed has caused things from riots to plane crashes to just the world is like
burning,
coming apart at the seams because they've messed with the fabric of reality and it's tearing. And so they have to go back to the source of it all and stop it.
It's for a film coming out in January. It looks pretty interesting.
It'll probably be the best movie of January.
Always intrigues me.
Absolutely.
Love movies like Looper, Primer, movies,
Yeah, I think
and like that. And it's by MTV Studios, so the quality is going to be like questionable, which is probably why they went found footage. And also one of our favorite guys, Michael Bay, is attached to the project.
Oh, I love Michael Bay. and the explosions and all the characters you want to see in the films he does are not there. I think it could be good though.
It's the first I'd heard of the movie, which
I only heard of it I was trolling news sites and that's what I found, and I actually thought the premise sounds good.
It does.
The delivery does not look bad. It looks at least okay. So I think the film could be probably at least a decent film for January, which is always the black hole for movie release months. Yeah.
It's not going to win any Oscars, but
at least it's not something Michael Bay is attached to with characters like Ninja Turtles, where 90% of the film is April O'Neil, and you get 10% Ninja Turtles, or like Transformers, where it's 90% Shia LaBeouf, 10% Transformers. He actually you get to see everything you want to see in this film.
It's time travel.
Yeah, it's just a fun.
It's MTV Studios. Kind of looked very Spring Break-esque from the cinematography. Reminded me a little bit of the camera work that was in Cloverfield and some of the other found footage.
Well, yeah, found footage. That's what it is. It's just a camcorder effect. It's not. They don't literally run around with a camcorder, but I mean, it's the same.
It's the same style. Do you feel like it needs to be a found footage film in order to be successful?
No, but I think it's interesting because they've gone through each genre with found footage. You've got a superhero film with I forget what it was called, Chronicle. Then you've got horror with the Blair Witch Project. You've got a monster film like Godzilla with Cloverfield, and so now they're doing the time travel thing, like a sci-fi film with found footage. And I think it's actually not a bad idea to go through each genre. I know that there was also one that was a zombie film that was found footage. Yeah. Actually, that sounds like an interesting idea. That's more realistic. If there's a zombie apocalypse and you have a camera, you're going to record some of that crap. No, I'll definitely check it out. I think it looks at least passably good.
Anything with time travel always.
But you know me, everything. As long as I'm entertained, I'm fine. Doesn't have to be the best movie ever.
No, agreed. Jumping into our next trailer, full-length trailer for Pan, and not like just a movie about dishpans or random
or
pans.
Pan's Labyrinth or anything like that. It's a Peter Pan origin film.
Pan origin film. We often on this show talk about the bedtime story, fairy tale genre.
Yeah, fantasies.
We can pretty much call it a genre at this point because they're remaking or have made everything into a live action. And this is just another one of those films.
I mean, you got Hook. You had there's another one. There's another live action Peter Pan.
Finding Neverland with Johnny Depp. Neverland.
Well, that doesn't technically count. That's about
the writer, it's a live action
Peter
Pan project.
This one looks interesting. It's like Oz the Great and Powerful. It takes you farther back than the beginning of the original story, and it follows Blackbeard is the villain, not Hook. And you actually meet Hook in the trailer, and he is just like a miner. And I think he befriends Peter Pan. And I think he'll eventually take over for Blackbeard as the new head of the ship, kind of a thing. I don't know. I think it looks interesting.
It looks interesting. Hugh Jackman is
definitely got a decent cast.
Set to play
Hugh Jackman's Blackbeard,
which is a good choice.
He does have great facial hair.
He does have great facial hair. Amanda Seyfried's also in the film, which people can either take it or leave her. I think she's pretty good.
She's not bad.
And the kid they got to play Peter Pan, he seemed nice enough, nice little lad.
And Rooney Mara is Tiger Lily. That's an interesting choice. She's from the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And other things.
Didn't know.
I don't really
know her as well. But, yeah. It'll be interesting.
I'll definitely probably check that one out as well. I mean, I might not go see it in theaters, but when it comes out, I might watch it.
It's definitely a type of film that Tommy Quant will go see.
Oh, yeah, he'll be there first in line, midnight showing.
He loves those fairy tale, bedtime story type of films. Chuck, any other movie trailers that we had to get to today?
Cinderella, which you didn't watch that trailer, but I'll go through it really quick. It's a live-action Cinderella film telling the story exactly as it should be told. It starts a little bit earlier than the story normally begins.
It's another fairy tale bedtime story.
It is. And it starts with Cinderella's father leaving her with her new stepmother, and he has to go away, and I think he dies or something, and then she's just left to be a slave. There are mice in it, actually. It actually is a pretty accurate portrayal of Cinderella, so it wasn't like they took any. It wasn't a departure. It's not like they took liberties. They actually told it right as the cartoon did, with a little more to it. I think it looks good, and there actually was a scene in the trailer where the prince is dancing with her, and she's like, "Everyone's looking at you," and he goes, "No, I think everyone's looking at you," and I was like, "Oh, you dog." Yeah, but I think it looks all right. Definitely has a decent cast.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett's in this.
Yep.
Helen Bonham Carter's also in this.
Oh, yeah, she's the fairy godmother.
And Lily James.
She's either the fairy godmother or she's the stepmother. I don't remember.
It's some recognizable names in there. It's coming out in 2015, which is not a good time for any of these.
No, because everything is coming out.
It's so chock full. It is a March release.
Oh, Haley Atwell. She's Cinderella's mother, her real mother. She's remember Peggy Carter from Agent Carter coming out this year, and from Captain America.
It's a March release, so it's going to beat the blockbuster season.
Yeah, that's the smartest move.
It's
for this one. Who's doing this film? Do we see that anywhere?
Disney.
Disney? It is Disney. Yeah, see, Disney's doing all of these, like all these live action fairy tales, and Disney's smart enough to not compete with themselves in May or any other month of the year that they have something coming out. This is going to be the Disney film of the month.
The Pan film is coming out in June. Actually, no, it's coming out in July, and that's not being done by Disney.
I didn't think so.
It's being done by, I think, Universal.
Yep, the same people that did Oz the Great and Powerful, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that's coming out definitely smack dab in blockbuster season.
Yeah, that one's not going to do so well.
I put my money on the Cinderella film.
Although, July, what is coming out? Oh, Ant-Man comes out in July. And even if Ant-Man is not the best Marvel film, it's still probably going to beat that film.
Not to mention there's probably like 7 other good films coming out in July.
Well, this past July wasn't that great. We had Ninja Turtles and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's it that I really cared about. But in other movie news, really quick, I'm going to run through really quick for you. Wonder Woman has now found their director, Michelle McLaren.
I wanted to stop and talk about this for a little bit before we just jump by it.
Okay.
I hadn't really heard of her before, because she's mostly done TV. She's done Breaking Bad, which is really critically acclaimed. She's also done X-Files, which I think will help her, when it comes to the direction of the Wonder Woman film, maybe draw. So she's done some sci-fi-esque type of stuff. So it's not a stretch. I'm glad that they're going with a female director. I think it only makes sense to have her do.
Marvel dropped the ball on this. they should have got Captain... When this was announced months ago, so when Marvel was putting together their next phase, they should have put Captain Marvel before this, so they can get that female superhero market before DC does. But I don't think it'll matter. I think Marvel will do a better job, and little girls will relate to that better. So, I think, honestly, the Wonder Woman film is going to be aimed at adults, and Marvel's going to just scoop up all the kids after that and be like, come on, come see our family-friendly Captain Marvel, well, sort of family-friendly Captain Marvel film. Because the direction they're going with the DC films is dark. And so kids are not going to want to see Wonder
Michelle
Woman.
McLaren fits the bill perfect for a dark director.
Yeah,
because
with
a lot of
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad and some of that. I'm actually excited for the Wonder Woman film.
Yeah, I'm wicked excited for that. That's about time that we got Wonder Woman.
I think that from the photos we've seen, Gal Gadot looks good.
She definitely does.
Costume. And I think that a Wonder Woman film could potentially be one of the better DC live-action films because right now I'm still on the fence about everything they're doing.
Yeah, and by splitting up, instead of doing a solid universe, Sandman is going to be on its own, Shazam's going to be on its own. They're only doing like 5 of the 12 announced films are going to be like in their cinematic universe. They're too afraid to do the Marvel thing. It's too bad.
Also, Chuck, I'll kick one over to you for you, Crossbones.
Oh,
Rumored
yes.
to appear in Captain America 3.
He said he is most likely to appear. He is signed on for, I think, 3 more films. Or at least 2 more films. So he should appear in Captain America 3, but it's not guaranteed. He'll probably be in Avengers 3 at some point. I mean, it is going to be a huge war, and so I think there will be a lot of villains that you're just going to see in that film. So that would be the other film that he would be in. But also with that, Daniel Bruhl is cast as the villain, a villain in that film, and so there will be multiple villains, along with the Civil War aspect of Captain America and Iron Man. And the villain Daniel Bruhl is to be cast for will also be in Doctor Strange, so it's a complete mystery as to who he could be.
Please.
A lot of people are saying Dormammu, a lot of people are saying, there's a bunch of people that they're saying, but none of them really make sense. We're just going to have to wait and see. Honestly, he might not be the villain in both films, he might just be like an underling, like working for Hydra or AIM or something that's going to tie both of those together in some way. So who knows? He could literally be anybody.
Do you think any chance we'll get Batroc
Batroc?
And Captain America 3?
No.
It's pronounced Batroc.
If you look it up, it's Batroc. You're the only living human being that says Batroc.
I am not the only living human being that says
You're the
Batroc.
only person I've ever met that says Batroc.
You have not met James Kincaid of the BDNS.
Well, he is wrong.
We'll go to his grave.
It's French.
Batroc.
It's pronounced Batroc.
It's pronounced Batroc. That's how all the cool kids say it.
Both of you. I will prove you wrong at some point.
Tonight is not that night, Chuck.
It will be tonight, after the show.
In other movie news, Universal's rebooting their classic monster movies.
They started with Dracula Untold. They basically
which I did not see.
I didn't see it.
Which I will see. I love Dracula.
They are taking all their monster films from the 30s, like
30s, 40s.
30s, 40s, like The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and like all of those.
The
old...
Mummy,
yeah,
Wolfman, Frankenstein,
and
Dracula.
instead of making horror films like those classic horror films, which I think would be great if they did like updated versions of. They're not going to be horror films. They're doing different genres for each one, like historical pieces and things like that. Which is interesting.
It's going to be more like action-adventure films from what I've read online.
Action, yeah.
I love the classic horror movies from the 30s
but I'm
and 40s.
glad they're not updating it because they would ruin it.
Yeah,
they would kill it.
Those are some of the best films. Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. You know, you cannot go wrong with some of those films. They're great to watch around Halloween, but they've kind of tried this. Like, they've done some different things, like when they did the Van Helsing movie.
Yeah,
using some of their characters. They redid the Wolfman movie a few years ago, you know, and then, of course, there's been those Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. You know,
yeah.
they're all Universal.
Those were great when I was like 12.
I love the first one of those.
The first one is still good.
Those are all done by Universal, and they all have the classic characters in them, but they're kind of doing their own films. people aren't scared of those characters anymore. That's my thing. Like, they're just kind of well-loved characters, Chuck. That's...
Yeah. I mean, they're classics. You can't beat those classic actors, and I can't even name some of them now. You cannot replace them with anyone. They're just the classic. They're the definition.
Right, and back in the 40s and 50s, people were actually scared when those movies came out because,
there was nothing else like it out there.
Right, there wasn't anything else. So I don't know if you could make a Frankenstein movie where Frankenstein is scary.
Oh, I think you could make a scary Frankenstein movie, but it wouldn't be, like, the same.
Yeah.
You'd have to take it in a whole new direction. It'd have to be like a slasher film, like Friday the 13th or something.
Yeah, which doesn't stay true to the original
no.
characters. So I understand why they're doing it. We'll have to see. I'll have to give my opinion after I've seen Dracula, which I've been meaning to do. So, once that comes out on DVD, Chuck, movie night.
Movie night. We haven't done a movie night in a while. We should get to doing that again.
We should. Miss it. Chuck, what else you got for me?
Goosebumps. There was actually a recently announced Goosebumps film. It's actually been in the works for a while, but I never thought it would actually happen. And it stars Jack Black, and it's the director from Gulliver's Travels. So it's going to be probably pretty terrible.
I didn't see that.
It's a kids' film.
It was bad.
It was a kids' film. It was great for kids. I didn't see it, but
did you grow up watching Goosebumps?
I did. I read the books. I watched the show. I used to get the movies on VHS. The little, like, the hour-long little two-parter episodes. So I basically, they've actually announced what's going to happen. And Jack Black actually announced the characters that will be involved. And it'll be a bunch of the creatures from the books will be coming to life, and Jack Black will be tasked with capturing them and, getting them back in the books. And there was a ventriloquist dummy named Slappy, who was probably the most terrifying, quote-unquote terrifying, of the group. And he's leading them all. And it's like, what's it called? The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. Like, all these, like, classic Goosebumps characters are going to be coming to life.
It kind of
terrorizing a town.
Like kind of like the Stuff of Legends, the comic book.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
It's honestly, I feel like to me, it's going to be the film Monster Squad, made in 2014, starring Jack Black as an adult version of these kids, and he's going to have the neighbor kid next door is going to help him, basically. And I think it'll be fun for kids. And I probably will see it because it'll
nostalgia
be...
factor.
Yeah, nostalgia factor. And I'll probably cry myself to sleep that night because they've probably killed everything that I loved as a child. But it's alright. They do that all the time. Michael Bay does it at least twice every year.
Once a year, hopefully, from now on. With
yeah, hopefully.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out one year and Transformers movie the next.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do 2 in 1 year like they did this past year, because that just killed me.
Took a lot out of
Although, I did like both films. I did actually like Transformers 4. I enjoyed some of the things that happened. I mean, honestly, if you break it down into everything that's wrong with it, we could talk about it for days. But all you need to know to enjoy that film is just go into it thinking, you're going to see Optimus Prime riding a dinosaur. So it makes everything okay. At least a little bit. Like, that's a part of you that you can live with at the end.
I'm embarrassed to admit I have seen it.
I saw it.
The whole way through. I didn't pay to see it, but...
I saw it at the drive-in.
Nah.
And then Ninja Turtles wasn't bad.
I didn't see that yet.
It was okay. The only thing is, 90% of the film is April O'Neil, and it's April O'Neil, the movie featuring the Ninja Turtles a little bit.
Megan Fox, so you can't...
Yeah, and they're not even mutagenically changed. It was a science experiment gone wrong. So they kind of ruined it there. But, sorry for the spoilers, everybody.
Anything else on the list, Chuck, before we...
Well, there's one more thing I want to mention is X-Men Apocalypse has cast Apocalypse, Oscar Isaac. I don't really know anything about this guy.
He's in the new Star Wars movie.
That's true. He's not a big guy. He's not like a muscular guy. And Apocalypse has always been depicted as gigantic. But it's like when they did Spider-Man 3. They did Topher Grace portraying a guy who's typically like 6'4" and like 300 pounds of muscle. So, I mean, we all know how well Spider-Man 3 turned out. Who knows? Maybe this will be almost as bad as that. Actually, it needs to be, though. That movie needs to bomb, or else Marvel will never get the X-Men back. So
Marvel's not getting the X-Men back because these movies are not well.
Actually, they have to. When the contract's up again and it has to be negotiated on, Marvel's not dealing. They're just saying give it back or that's it. Well, and there's going to be a big legal battle probably. Like Marvel will get it back by 2020.
That's a lot of X-Men films away. At least 2 more.
Yeah, there's that's at least
3 more.
They're going to do 1 a year from now on. That's 6 years away. That's 6 films from now. That's a lot of money for Fox between now and then. And then you got to think there's Fantastic Four films coming. They have 3 of those lined up. That's 9 films. And that's not counting Wolverine solo films, which they have 2 more of those lined up. That's 11 films. That is a lot of money for Fox.
Right, and the X-Men film has been doing well. So has the Wolverine solo film. So
absolutely, they've been doing well. But Fantastic Four, when that bombs, Fox will give that right back.
What if we do a trade? They give back Fantastic Four and a few other things, and they keep X-Men.
That I can see happening. I can see them saying, "Give us 5 more," because Marvel's no longer caring about X-Men. They've gotten Humans. They've already made that a thing. So they're going to say, give us X-Men for another 10 years, and we'll give you Fantastic Four, which is going to give them the Badoon for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to give them Galactus for Guardians of the Galaxy and Fantastic Four and the Avengers for a big crossover film. Marvel wants Galactus more than they want anything else. They've actually been trying to get Galactus for years. So that alone would make a good deal for X-Men. Because they don't care about the X-Men.
And Fox is doing a good enough job with them. We don't need them to go back.
And then you got Sony. Spider-Man, they can just hand Spider-Man back because they're bombing with it every time. There's never been a really good Spider-Man film. There's been decent ones, but never a really good one. And Marvel needs to get on that.
Before Chuck goes into a comic movie induced rant,
I'm good now.
We're going to move on. A couple of other quick news items to get through before we wrap this up. Got a Flash Arrow crossover images got released this week. Chuck, walk me through why I should care about either of these shows.
Oh, well, okay. I'm so far behind on Arrow, I can't convince you anything about Arrow. But I can tell you, The Flash has been just fantastic. It's an amazing show. Every time they bring in a new villain, they do it right. And even when they don't do it exactly how the comic books did it, they do it better, as they did with Girder. But when they did Captain Cold, and they took, I forget his name, one of the guys from Prison Break, he did a fantastic job as Captain Cold. He has the cold gun, he has the parka, he has the look, he is Captain Cold. So, I mean, I'm just pumped to see what they're doing. And with Arrow, with these images you see, in a recent episode of Arrow I read that somebody was killed by a boomerang from Captain Boomerang, which is a Flash villain. So it's going to bring those two together. It's going to be over Captain Boomerang, and I think it's going to lead into with the Rogues, which is going to be Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang. All of those classic Flash villains are going to team up, and it's going to take the two of them as a team to take them down.
Makes sense. Which will be awesome to watch.
Even if it's just Captain Boomerang, I'll be pumped. But they could do the Rogues. I think that would be interesting.
Chuck, is it time to get to our main event?
The main event? What's the main event?
Earlier in the week, if you are a frequent visitor of our website, zacandchuck.com, an article went up that let everyone know a teaser had gotten released for the film I'm probably my third, maybe second most excited for film of next year. I'm having a hard time. But,
we got a lot next year that's going to be huge.
That's Jurassic World. I posted the teaser, and everyone said that the trailer wasn't coming out for, a couple of days.
It wasn't supposed to come out until Thanksgiving. That's what was teased. On the website, they have a countdown until Thanksgiving Day, and you think that's the trailer. Well, it is. That's actually, I remember now, that's the trailer that's going to be on TV. It's airing during the football game, and that's what it's for. Or they're going to do something else. Who knows? But today,
at
3 o'clock,
news broke.
Or
full-length Jurassic World trailer.
2.5 minutes.
Hit the web. We're here to talk about it. If you want to check out the teaser and not the full-length trailer, visit our website. Chuck, have you posted the full-length yet?
I tweeted it, which is also on our Facebook. It links to our Facebook.
Chuck will be placing the full-length on Facebook.
I'll be posting the full-length tonight. I wanted to wait till the show was done and up.
But we're going to talk about it. Chuck, first off, let's get your thoughts on the teaser and how excited you were just after seeing that.
I was not excited. I was angry when I saw that teaser for one reason. It was a trailer for a trailer.
I liked it. It got me pumped up. Got me excited.
Trolled us.
They got me excited for the trailer. I'm like, I can't wait for this trailer. And you know what? It got people talking, and then they released the trailer 2 days early, and people are still talking.
It's the equivalent. Yes, no, it got people talking. It did its job. Yes, 100%, I give them that. But here's what annoyed me. It was like seeing a commercial for a cat food commercial. Or like a commercial for a car commercial about a car. Like,
it basically, I'll break the teaser down, had 4 clips. Clip of Chris Pratt looking very serious.
In an elevator.
A clip of some dinosaurs running across the field.
Very brief.
A clip of the main female lead turning around in a lab. That's basically all the teaser had. I mean, yes, we did get some dinosaurs, and people were really talking about that.
The teaser was literally, I think, 17 seconds long.
It was real short. And then the full length dropped today, and man, was everyone blown away, including myself.
And they still didn't show us everything.
Initial impressions of the trailer.
I wanted to cry. I mean, I saw Chris Pratt on a motorcycle riding through a pack of raptors, so all I could think was Star-Lord on a motorcycle not getting eaten by raptors, which you pointed out means they're probably being chased by something even bigger.
Exactly.
So,
we didn't get to see what people are referring to as the D-Rex in the trailer. Got a lot of scenes of Chris Pratt, a lot of scenes of Jurassic World. The park is reopened.
The park looks great.
The dinosaurs look great.
Yep.
A lot of shots of those. And it really had that Jurassic Park feel that I'm looking for.
The one thing that I'm worried,
super excited.
I want to know is, remember in Jurassic Park when the raptors were going after everybody in the end in the compound, and when the T-Rex kind of busted in to save the day, in this one, who's going to save them from the D-Rex? Is the T-Rex and the raptors going to team up, high five, and just attack it all at once? I mean, come on, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm so pumped. Chris Pratt, yeah. I mean, what's he going to do? It's going to be a 40-foot tall giant dinosaur. He's going to have to strap a grenade to its face.
It's going to be awesome. Looks really good.
It does.
It's good to have Steven Spielberg back involved.
Is he involved in this one?
Oh yeah, he's executive producer or directing, one of the two.
He's not directing.
The trailer looks fantastic.
I know he's not directing.
I've watched it a few different times. If you haven't seen it, you'll be able to check it out on our website. But once the film comes out, Chuck, or we get closer to the release, I was thinking we would do a full Jurassic Park Remember When. So I want to save a lot of our thoughts about the franchise as a whole for that. But any other thoughts on the trailer before we wrap up tonight's episode?
No, I think we've hit it all pretty good. I mean, there are new kids established. I think what would have been interesting is that if they got the kids from the first film to come back as adults. But
we don't know that there won't be any of that in the film.
There could be, but I don't see them ever stepping foot back on that island, no matter what. Although it would be funny, because like with every time something goes wrong, it's somebody coming back to the island. So it would be funny, they step on the island and all of a sudden, things go crazy wrong. Like, why? What are we doing here? That kind of thing.
The woman who sat in the beginning of the trailer, who's like talking to her kids before they go into the island, and she says, if anything's chasing you, run. Super creepy. It's so creepy. I've watched that like 4 times, just rewinding it, and it's just so creepy. Oh, it's creepy.
If anything chases you, run.
It's like, who whispers like that? But super creepy scene.
No, if anything chases you, don't move.
Exactly.
Their vision is based on motion, which was made up for the first film, I'm pretty sure. But if they're keeping that canon, don't move.
They're keeping that canon.
They are keeping that canon. You can see it in the trailer. That's still canon.
There's a scene where he picks up a helmet which looks to be left over from the first part.
Well, it's an InGen helmet, so I don't think it's that old, because it would have looked far more damaged. It would have looked far more worn down. It would have been crushed by then. Dinosaurs running around, it would have been crushed.
They don't run everywhere.
It's recent. I think there was somebody working on the island and they got attacked. That's probably going to be the opening scene. Like in every film, there's an opening scene where someone gets attacked.
It could be.
It will be that guy.
It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, super excited. Love Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Check out the trailer. We wanted to leave you tonight. There's a Kickstarter campaign. Check them out. It's a controller that drains your blood if you get shot in a video game. Chuck will be posting a link to that. So, interesting concept, Chuck. I don't know how I personally feel. It's basically...
I've decided from this point on, everything we talk about, when the episode airs that day, I'm going to go through and I'm going to post an article, and it's going to be the entire episode link by link.
It's a good idea.
So you can actually go through what we know, and expand on it a little bit more, and get your own opinions. So, yeah, a little more in-depth look at Zac and Chuck's Untitled podcast.
Episode roundup.
That's what we'll be doing.
Okay. Well, with that, we hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. Drive safe if you're traveling. And from all of us here at Zac and Chuck's Untitled podcast, we look forward to seeing you guys after the break. We will be back next week, probably sometime. We thought about taking a break. Chuck and I tossed the idea around for the holidays.
Here's what I'll say. If nothing's going on in the news, which I highly doubt, we might take a bit longer of a break if things get quiet. But for the most part, you'll probably hear from us again soon.
And if you don't hear from us...
January at the latest.
Well, no, if you don't hear from us on the regular episode cycle, look for some movie nights. Christmas is coming, so there's a lot of great Christmas films we could be reviewing. So if you have any Christmas favorites, holiday favorites, we could do some double features maybe to try to get more in. Let us know. Send us an email, and we'll see what we can do about getting some Christmas movie nights out, Chuck. It'll be exciting.
Yeah.
But I hope everyone has a good week. Take care.